Howdy, guys. So I changed the background a little bit. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to talk about this. This is a Spyderco spydk. It's I don't know if it's UK legal. It's a more friendly legal option for everywhere, at least in the US. I don't think there's anywhere you can't carry this. If there is, please comment down below. Just, I don't know. I'm just going to say if you can't carry most knives, more than likely you'll be able to carry this in your area. New York, Chicago, talking to you. But yeah, so this is a Spyderco spydk. It is a very exceptional knife. It's one of those knives that I was like, it looks cool. I'm probably going to hate it. And then I'll just sell it. No big deal. And here I am. I traded for this from Super Steel Steve months ago. So I sent him a CTS XHP Para 3 from Spyderco. And in return, he sent me a standard S30V black G10 military with this guy, and I have to say, I love this guy. This is such a great knife. It's very different coming from Spyderco. It still maintains that same leaf-shaped blade, but in terms of Spyderco, like, they're known for kind of having a more broad blade. I'm kind of still sick, guys, so I do apologize for that. But you can see here it's much more narrow than, like, your standard military. Well, this is an S90V carbon fiber military. But I have to say it's quite a good cutter. It's not exceptionally thin behind the edge. I wouldn't say that. It's pretty much on par with a paramilitary 2 or a military or a Para 3, maybe a tad thinner. So this knife features a steel that I think is far underrated in our community, which of course is the knife community. It's n690co. It's a steel made by Bowler, I believe. I think it's Bowler. And as Steve described it to me before I traded for it, he said, this is what VG10 wishes it was. And immediately I was like, oh, sign me the fuck up. I'll take 2. But yeah, and I found that to be the case. VG10 from Spyderco. I don't know if you guys have used a standard production Delica Endura, something like that. Sorry, guys, it's kind of late. I was up late last night, probably around like 4:30 in the morning. But what was I saying? Yeah, so in my experience with the Delica Endura series, they're VG10, and it's very limited. I had one years ago, guys, years ago. So don't take my, opinion on VG10 to be, the word of God. I didn't care for it. Rust resistant, yes, absolutely. Everything else, kind of, to me, felt like it fell by the wayside. And if I'm going to carry a rust resistant steel in 2019, I mean, I have a hell of a lot of options, I mean, we have LC200N, we have H1, we have n680, we have all kinds of fucking steels, guys. In my opinion, VG10, I don't know, not my favorite. But n690 kind of reminds me of 154CM from Benchmade. Now, I don't have hard use on this. I'm not batoning this into trees. I'm not cutting wire. It's a, I mean, there's no liners in here. Not that that would ever be a foreseeable problem. I just don't see that being an issue, especially with a, you know, it's not even a lock back, it's a slip joint. So I don't see full FRN scales being an issue on a slip joint, especially if the n690 lightweight can fucking handle it. And you know, I've used some n690 lightweights and they hold up pretty incredibly well. So getting back to the design, overall, I have to say these ergonomics, they're not, how do I put this? I wish Spyderco would do more stuff like this. I wish they would do more of the narrow, you know, choils and stuff like that. I just feel like this is so effortless and it feels very elegant, and you know, I feel like I have a lot of control over this knife, I guess would be my way of putting it. So that's definitely really nice. If you think you have a lot of control over the Para 3, get one of these in your hand, and I think you might feel like you have a little bit more control. It would be real cool if they did some different versions of this, you know. Like I said, no issue with not having a lock on this. The one thing is, if you do want to, you know, really get up in something, it's very easy to get that blade to pop down. And that's mostly why I keep my finger in that little choil, just to prevent, you know, anything from happening. Not that, well, I mean, I guess in the choke back grip, you really could get that blade to close on your hand. I've never had that happen. I actually spine whacked this at the office today. So there you go. It even left some dents in the table. But yeah, I mean, it's just easy to get it to close when you're choked up on it like that. I mean, you have a lot of leverage, quick impacts. Yeah, I mean, you can make it close. For the most part, it's not going to close. One thing I really do like about this, it's got that real narrow blade shape. I've done a couple takes on this video, so I can't remember if I already talked about it. But a lot of Spydercos, they tend to have like a real wide blade. So I don't know if you can see that. It's fairly wide on the Para 2. This is just, it's very narrow, very elegant. It almost doesn't feel like a Spyderco. You don't have that massive finger, not choil, finger ramp. You just have a little baby one, which is all you really need. What else can I say about this? This knife originally came with a pocket clip. I think if you're carrying this with a clip, you might be living in an area where you can't carry a folding knife, such as, you know, this, you know, Rat 1 or the Para 2. I took mine off because I throw it in like a coin pocket. I throw it in, you know, the bottom of my pocket with my phone. I don't find it to be... Okay, I've carried this for, you know, a couple months. I haven't lost it. It's never come out of my pocket. So I don't think it would be an issue. And this one, I know that they make one in an all black. This is orange. It's going to be pretty easy to find. One thing I did think of, this would be a good first knife for someone. Say like, you know, niece, nephew, going to, you know, summer camp, whatever. That's actually how I got into knives, guys. My camp counselor when I was a fucking kid was, he had just the coolest knife. It was, what was it? It was some sort of buck. What was it? It was one of the Buck Tops folding knives, I think. And then some other people had a couple other knives. But I just thought that was the shit back then because I was like, oh, a buck knife, that's amazing. A lot of non-knife people seem to think buck is like the end-all be-all, and that was me when I was 10. So I got real into knives. I bought my own buck. I bought, you know, the Gerber Paraframe, of course, is my first knife, not knowing. And then I think after the buck, I must have just bought, I think it was the Tenacious. And then immediately after that, I think I bought a Para-2 and then a military. So I quickly progressed. And then after that, it must have been that Benchmade 581 M390 Barrage. That was a cool knife. But I think this would be a great knife to give, you know, like a younger person who's maybe just going off to camp, doing something like that. I don't know, just to, you know, kind of like spark the interest, I guess. Like, I mean, I guess we're all kind of biased. Anyone who's watching this video, like, you obviously think knives are cool. If you don't, you can give this video a big fat thumbs down and vacate the premise, if you would be so kind. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I had a kid, I'm 21, guys. I'm not old by any means. I don't know. If my son liked knives, I'd be a fucking proud ass man. I would. As long as he's not like a psycho or anything, like a, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer 2.0. I think I could, you know, I think that would be fun, you know, talking knives with your fucking kid. That would be a lot of fun. But yeah, definitely a really cool knife. I honestly, at the office, and I've been at the office all the time now, I'm trying to build up my team, and hire a bunch of people in, so I'm in the office pretty much every day. This actually became my backup knife, the military. So, no more of that being, you know, in the front pocket. Actually, usually the military goes in the back pocket anyway, but this is like my primary user knife, I guess. Like, this is what I pull out, you know, to cut whatever I need, just because I am in an office and doing hiring and whatnot. Like, you obviously don't want to spend the money to get someone in for an interview and then fucking scare them off by, you know, using a machete to cut string off your shirt. But whatever. Yeah, so, I mean, if you guys haven't checked this knife out, I'm not going to say it's for everyone. It certainly isn't. I'm going to say it's more of a utilitarian knife than anything. People that like knives like this ZT 0560 CBCF, you're probably not going to be super fucking hyped about the Spyderco spydk. On the flip side, if you like knives like this like Rat 1, you know, maybe you're on a budget, I think you might actually really enjoy the spydk. I mean, there's all different kinds of knives. Like, I tend to float towards, okay, here's my philosophy behind like buying a knife. Like, if you're gonna buy it, buy the one you want, because like, if you want like an S90V, I don't know, like ZT made a G10 LMAX version of this. I wanted this one since I was a fucking little ass kid. Not that I'm not a little ass kid anymore, but I knew if I bought another one of that 0560 with the G10, I wasn't going to be satisfied as if I spent the extra almost double and just bought this. I mean, so I went with this. That's kind of my philosophy. Like, these aren't going to break in your lifetime, so you may as well just get the one you want. That's kind of how I treat guns too. But I mean, for sure, like, this has become a fucking shining, sparkling gem in my collection and my carry rotation. It just complements pretty much everything very, very, very well. So you can see that's it against a Para-2. So it is a kind of a baby knife. And then Let's get it up against a 0562 from ZT. Once again, see it's a little guy. Yeah, guys, I mean, definitely not for everyone. If you like slip joints, or, you know, maybe you don't use knives like super fucking hard like people pretend to a lot of times. There are a lot of people that do use their knives hard, but for the most part, like, I think a lot of people are just like me. Like, I am a civilian. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not military. I don't work outdoors. I'm not an electrician. I'm not a plumber. I'm not a tradesperson. I work in an office. I deal with people. You know, I don't have a lot of stuff to cut. At one point in my life, I did. I broke down boxes basically for a living. And at that point, you know, I carried different knives. I still do carry the same knives. Like this guy, if you think I'm going to fucking stop carrying a big-ass folding knife because I work in an office, whew, got another thing coming. But, yeah, so I just thought I'd, you know, kind of talk about that real quick. But like I said, not a knife for everyone. But if you can, maybe you know of one at a knife shop by you, definitely handle it because it's very comfortable, very easy to control. I don't know. It's just, for whatever reason, I like this knife. The orange isn't quite showing up how it actually looks. It looks way, way, way darker than it does right now. Let me see. Yeah, it's not gonna work. All right, well, yeah, so you could probably find more realistic pictures. It's just Spyderco orange FRN. That's all it is. So with that being said, I'm going to end the video here, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you hopefully later tonight in video number 3 for today. All right, guys, catch you later.